Thank you, Temitope.
Thanks.
So I'm going to add more to what she said. Okay, so the HULT Prize is a Nobel Prize of Innovation for tertiary institutions. We all know that it's an international competition where our university students stand a chance of winning the global prize of $1 million. This event, as a prelude to the main competition, we are hosting and learning development sessions now that's going to help our teams. I assume a majority of us have already filled the team composition form. And even if you don't have a team yet, we're going to help you, and we're going to allocate team members.
Okpeyemi, you are muted. Okpeyemi, you are muted.
I'm so sorry. I did not know that I was muted. Okay, so in addition to what Temitope has said, the HULT Prize is a Nobel Prize for Innovation for tertiary institutions. We all know it's an international competition where our university students stand a chance of winning a global prize of $1 million. $1 million. Now, this event that we are setting up now is going to help you. It's going to help you. It's a learning and development session, and it's going to help you as against the main event. So I assume majority of you have filled the team composition form, and if you don't have a team member yet, we're going to help you. I'm going to give you some team members, and if you have team members, yes, that's all fine. Now, and I also assume that majority of you have a tech idea or an idea you want to pitch. So like I said, this session is a learning session for you, and it's going to prepare you against the main event that is coming up 1st of April. Also, I would like to add that once the team composition is already set, once we've already grouped you to your teams, you're going to have physical meetings. And I assume I've already disseminated this information in the mail I sent to everyone. There's going to be a physical meeting where your campus directors will be present there with you. So you have discussions on what your team is going to do. So moving on now, I'm going to introduce our star guest, Mr. Afolabi Olamide. I'm going to read a short bio of him. Mr. Afolabi Olamide is an entrepreneur and a technology enthusiast, experienced with a demonstrated history of working in the financial technology industry. He's skilled in C, in Python, PHP, C++, and mobile applications. His background is in engineering with a Bachelor of Technology focused in mechanical engineering from Ladoke Akitola University of Technology. He has interest in Internet of Things. He has interest in Internet of Things, artificial intelligence, and robotics. On the other side, he loves human psychology and understanding what makes human tick. So you're welcome to this event, sir. Thank you so much for joining. Mr. Falabi.
Oh, thanks for having me.
Thank you so much, sir. Yes.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes, thank you, sir. Okay, so moving on, I'm going to introduce our second star guest, Mr. Elder David Kehinde Samuel. He's the founder, director, head operations, policy research and innovation lead for Nimala General Center for Entrepreneurship Skills, University of Lagos, and an on-campus enterprise development center created with the sole purpose of advocating for and promoting entrepreneurship via learning and development interventions for both members and non-members of the university community. Elder is the founder, president in council, and policy research lead for Nigerian Global Affairs Council, NIGAC. The Nigerian Global Affairs Council is a technology-based and digital media-driven public policy and evidence-based research think tank focused on policy concerns that revolve around governance and public administration within the Nigerian state and how it interacts with the large world. Elder is also the founder and CEO of ProConnect Pay, an Africa's first edu fintech company, and the edu fintech company is focused on payment relocations in fintech company. and it provides interest-free income advance to educational institutions and indirect interest-free school fees and educational support material loans to parents or guardians. Thank you so much for joining us, sir, Mr. Elder David. Mr. Elder, thank you, sir. Okay, so moving on now to our next agenda. We are going to welcome Mr. Afolabi. He's going to be sharing his wealth of knowledge with us, his experience, useful tips that's going to help us through this competition. Thank you so much. Over to you, sir.
Hi, everybody. I want this session to be as interactive as possible, so try to use the chat box, the chat space to answer some questions, and then, throw in questions if you have any. So my name is Olamide Afolabi. I co-founded a small company called Touch and Pay. We are currently the ones running the BRT, the Cowrie BRT payments in Lagos. And of course, I started my entrepreneurship journey from the university, just like everybody. I've been a tech enthusiast since before I even entered university, since my undergraduate stage. And over through the university, my university career has all been around providing solutions, looking at what is broken in our systems and seeing how we can fix that by providing solutions. So I graduated from LAUTECH. Not a very cool school, but I mean, I survived. I studied mechanical engineering. But what really stuck with me was the need to want to solve most of the problems that we have in Nigeria. I could remember that there's this platform that we had then that they call Microsoft Imagine Corp. So that was like the World Cup of software. You have to create a team, look for an idea that resonates with the Millennium Development Goals, and then you need to solve a problem. So I have a team with one of my friends then is going to found Kudi now, Kudi.ai. And interestingly, the first Imagine Cup that we participated in was actually held in UNILAG at the computer center. So myself and my friend came up with one interesting solution, and then we came to present it. We didn't win. We were just, maybe we were the last position. we came last because we didn't get so much information and stuff like that. But I mean, it was an eye-opener. We saw that there's a platform that that is available for what we love to do, what we want to do, and that was the beginning. So we didn't give up. We added 2 more people that are smarter than us the following year. So for context, Imagine Cup is like the World Cup of software then, but it was championed by Microsoft. So the idea was that pick a Millennium Development Goal problem, solve it with technology, and then present it. If you're able to win in your country, say Nigeria, then you get to represent your country in the world finals. So they usually take it everywhere in the world. The world final could be in Poland, it could be in Sydney, Australia. They had one in the US, they had one in Russia, all around the world. And it's all expenses paid trip. We fly you to all those countries. They even give you pocket money to go and present your presentation at the world stage. And the interesting thing is that you meet people from all over the world with their interesting solutions, and then you're able to, get inspired. So the second time we tried it, we came second. We still didn't win, even though we had 2 more people that joined the team. We had this interesting solution for, I think, people that have cardiovascular diseases and stuff like that. And then we tried one more time, and that was when we won. Then we went to Russia to represent Nigeria. Of course, we didn't win the world finals, but when we came back, it sparked our entrepreneurship journey. So events like HULT, this HULT prize is one of such things that, propelled people like us to, focus on entrepreneurship and say that, you see, we really need to keep solving problems. So when we came back from Microsoft Imagine Corp, we wanted to see our idea through. We got, well, not really funding, but we got introduction to GIB. That's like VGG, Venture Garden Group, entrepreneurship, business, more like a business school. And then that was, what ingrained us into, knowing the difference between having a wow idea, where people see your idea and they say, oh, wow, this idea is nice, and also being able to pay for the idea. So it's a two different things. I mean, I know that you might see on LinkedIn or social media where they will say, oh, one young chap built something, and everybody will say, oh, such talent in Nigeria and all that. And that's where it ends. You never hear about those people anymore. You will see, oh, somebody built a car from scrap, or talents, they show them on LinkedIn, show them anywhere, and that's it. But it takes more work to move your idea from that stage to a stage where people can, dip their money into their savings, into their pockets, and give you money to see that idea through. And that's where we wanted to be. And that was what, those entrepreneurship school, was able to teach us. And of course, we started our entrepreneurship journey. We launched a product called Clinic Bell, where we were trying to help hospitals manage their appointments. I mean, we feel that it was terrible then that somebody have an appointment with a doctor, the doctor had canceled, and the patient is there at the hospital waiting, and the doctor is nowhere to be found, only for a nurse to come eventually and say, oh, doctor could not make it today. I mean, why can't you just message me? Why do you allow me to come and waste my time here and all that? So we built a solution that could solve that problem. But I mean, unfortunately for us, or let me say fortunately for us, the hospital were using our solution to remind patients for antenatal, for sessions that wasn't around what we had built it for. And we are burning money because we're running a freemium model where you don't have to pay, but we'll make money from the data. So there was a time that they sent birthday reminder using our platform to all their customers, and 80,000 naira. We're just to them, we never raised any money. Of our pocket money was just gone. And then we needed to, sorry, you have issue with the audio? Is there anybody else? Hello, can you hear me now? Is it better?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, great. So, I mean, and we thought to ourselves that we needed to, re-strategize. So we stopped the idea for a while and then, tried to raise some money. But then the money was not really coming through. And then myself and my friend sat down again and said, what other problem do we have in Nigeria that it's crazy that nobody is solving it? And we looked at the fintech space and we see that every time we come to Lagos, there is always this problem of 500, 1,000, change. There is this problem of change in the public transport sector, and nobody seems to be solving that problem. And then we asked ourselves, that, is it a very difficult problem to solve, or is it that we don't have the technology to solve that problem today? So we started researching on Square, how Jack Dorsey had built Square, how they had envisioned payments to be more of a social problem than a tech problem. I mean, somebody can walk into your store and just pick one or two things as if you are a merchant, and you will collect money from that person, and you just let the person go because you know the person. And then somebody else will come, and then you make sure that you collect your money to the last kobo before you let the person go. So payment really, it's not a technology problem, it's a social problem, and you need to be able to, open your mind and think about how to solve it from that perspective. So we get to work, we started thinking about, okay, why is it impossible to process transportation payments in Nigeria digitally? And then we realized that number one, the cost of transaction is very high from the current payment infrastructure, the payment setup, where somebody is charging 0.75%, you don't get your money until the next day, and transport is not like that. Then, of course, you need to have a bank account before you can hold your bank card and all that. So we needed to change all that perspective. And then we got to work, we wrote our sleeve, we founded a company called Soul. And then we realized how hard it is to penetrate the transport sector. It was unbelievably hard. It wasn't something that anybody could dare. So I remember we came to Lagos to talk to Lamata. This was back in 2016. They were just laughing at us. Who are these kids that feel that they can do anything and just come to us to come and sell us a payment system when we have them in C as the gatekeeper? We have all these bigger people. So we went back and then we didn't give up. So we tailored the idea towards solving problem for butcheries in the university. So my friend graduated from OAU. So we went back to OAU. We launched there. We went to some of the butcheries, those supermarkets, mini supermarkets at the schools, and then we give them our payment solution. We bought devices. We launched there. So students were given our cards. So they just use, we have this NFC card where you can load your money. So instead of worrying about change, you just put your money there through all these mobile money agents there. We didn't even have mobile money agents. We have more of recharge card sellers in the university then. So we partner with them, we give them our devices. So they were able to top up for students. And students just take the cards to these butcheries and just start to pay. So we started there. We covered almost all the butcheries in OAU. We moved to Lautech, which was where I graduated. We did almost the same thing. And then we started talking about our idea online, on LinkedIn and all that. And then we got some few people interested. One guy who doesn't know us from anywhere just messaged us on LinkedIn and invested then 3.5 million naira. It was a big deal then. We bought more devices, we expanded, and then we were able to get some traction from that money to a point where we then had an institutional investor, called us and, invested more money, but asked us to move to Lagos so that we can look for more use cases. And that was how, we started Sanwo, and then we started, trying that. But eventually we had to metamorphosize. We grew, we got more people on our network. We were able to understand more why payment is not working, which actually we were right. It's not a technology problem. It's a social problem. So we started playing the politics, understanding more how to navigate it to a point where we came back to Lagos and we got a link that introduced us to some of the people in high places, and then we're able to eventually find our way into Lamata. And then then what had happened was COVID had happened and Lagos State wanted to reopen the economy. However, contact tracing was a thing because you needed to be able to know people that are entering the buses. And if you don't have that data, then there's going to be a problem. So, but prior to COVID, we were working with one of the bus operators, which was LBSL. So we're helping them process their transaction through paper tickets. So we kind of digitize the process, give them a revenue assurance through the paper tickets. So the regular paper tickets that they have today was forgeable. So, but we give them a system that is not. It basically just vent from our POS and it gives them a dashboard where they can monitor the transactions and all that. So we're working with them with LBSL. We're working with Lag Ferry, which was also one of the major operators of the ferry in Lagos. So when the whole contact tracing COVID happened, then the regulator, which is Lamata, then said, "Oh, we needed an organization that is local." I mean, good for us. We didn't import any of our technology. We put ourselves in a room in Shomolu and then we built everything from scratch. They need a technology from a company in Nigeria that is local, that understand the terrain. I mean, and that can tweak the technology very fast and adapt it to the needs of the people. And then so we were the only ones available. Every other people that are competing with us were either OP that came from China or InterSwitch that had just gotten funds from Visa, the US company, and all that. So the government just felt that, wait, we needed to promote local content. And these guys are local. I mean, they are here and they could fix all this problem for us. So they said, okay, try 3 months pilots with 10,000 cards. We tried it and they circulated a feedback form. And most of the feedback they got was very positive. And then they said, you know what, just take the entire thing. And that was how we were able to, get the whole Cowrie contract, get onto the Lagos Rail. And then from there, Kano State also came and said, oh, we want the same thing. A lot of other states, government also came and said, we want the same thing. So basically, what I'm trying to tell you here is that Nigeria rules the world, and it still does. We were not, I'm not Ashiwaju's son. I'm not Tinubu's son. We are not a cousin to the governor. We are not related to the president in any way. But we're just some guys that believe that we need to solve the problem. We were consistent with the problem that we wanted to solve. We didn't give up because we thought that it was impossible. We remain grounded no matter what, and say this is a problem that needs to be solved. And we decided to give it everything that we have. So some of our mates then were being stupid. My nickname in school was Emeritus. My professor wanted me to, they thought that I was very intelligent, and they wanted me to be a graduate assistant. From there, they already drawn a map for me to become a prof, a lecturer. But then, I felt that we will not be doing our country a great service if there is a problem and we are here and we can't solve it. And at some point during my career, I got a job offer at Google, very interesting pay. I think then it was about $130,000 a year as a senior engineer, but I was a geek. I turned it down as well when we initially launched Sonwo, that no, we really need to do this. And eventually it paid off, right? It eventually paid off. So I'm just trying to encourage us to say that Nigeria is not that bad as we think. And a lot of us might have aspiration that we want to leave the country and all that. But just think about this. Some of the people that we think are the problem of our countries are old. They're going to die one day. If you are not here, who will be there to replace them? That's one. Then the other problem is that if you stick your neck up long enough, there's never been anybody that stuck their neck up long enough that they eventually succeed. Never. If you read Elon Musk's story, if you read Bill Gates' story, if you read everybody's story, there is always that that time frame where you believe in something, you stay there, you continue making progress as much as you can, and then you eventually hit it. So I don't want to talk too much. I think let's have like 5 or 10 minutes for questions, and then so that we can keep it moving. Thank you for your listening attention. I'm really honored.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. So my take home, be very confident, be consistent in creating solutions to a problem despite ups and downs. Ideas rules the world, and to have a constant determination to succeed. Thank you very much. And I'm sure our audience also have some take homes. Now the floor is open for everyone to ask questions.
Yeah.
So if you have questions, you can unmute yourself, raise your hand up, or type in the chat box, and I'll read them out. The floor is open. And if you don't have any question, you can just share your take home with us. And I'm sure you're going to have questions. Let's hear everyone speak. Susan, you have the floor.
Susan?
All right.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
All right. Thank you so much once again for the session. It was intriguing. Now, the question is, yeah, I understand that everything you said to me, I feel like it's science inclined, right? Yes, I wanted to ask that for this competition or for any other thing that one would be doing here to be successful, does it really have to be science inclined for those of us that are not scientific gurus? Like for me, I don't know anything when it comes to science, you know. So does it really need to be science inclined? I mean, there are 1001 things one can do outside of science. Yes. So could you please shed more light on that? Thank you.
Okay. Right. Okay, so if you look at the list of billionaires in the world, they probably have, I don't know, maybe 30% of them science. We still have the likes of the owner of Zara, and a lot of other people. Even at some point, the person that led Bill Gates, that led Microsoft for several years was a business guy. That was Steve Ballmer. So really, you can contribute anywhere you are in the world. You don't have to be a tech person. You don't have to be a science person. The only thing that is important is your mindset to solving a problem, and then you'll be able to stick to it and solve the problem, whatever it takes. So it has nothing to do with science. It has nothing to do with your current background. We've had a lot of people that have changed the world, don't even go to school, or they were academic dropouts. And then they were still able to make a lot of impact in the world. So it's about the mindset, really. It's nothing about the career.
Thank you very much, sir. So I have another question from Josiah Adeshola. The question is, thank you so much, sir. My question is, how were you able to deal with the government after they considered you?
Okay, so it's a different ballgame when you enter relationship with government. And like I said, there's this mindset about the government today that is changing and it's wrong. There's a mindset about, oh, you have to pay bribe, you have to do a lot of things to stay relevant and all that. But in reality, this is everywhere in the world. It's not just in Nigeria. In Nigeria, we have just kind of bastardized everything. So, for example, in the US, there is something they call expedited fee, meaning that if you are supposed to get your US visa, maybe standard, it takes 10 months, for example, just citing an example. No, it's not accurate. But then you can expedite it and pay a little bit more, right? But in Nigeria, the only way to do that, because there's no process to that, it is called bribe today in Nigeria. So you have to bribe your way. But isn't that bribe in the US too? But because it's legal, it's no longer bribe. That's one. Another one is there's something they call lobbying in the US. So this is like a career where we have lobbyists. What they do is that if Chevron, all these big companies want to get a deal with the government, they have some people that they pay salary to help them lobby the government. And whatever it takes that they need to do to be able to get those deals, they do that. It's a legal thing in the US. But in Nigeria, lobbying also exists, but it's a negative thing. So my point is that dealing with government has all the specs. It depends on how you look at it. You have stakeholders to manage, and it's everywhere in the world. There's stakeholders management everywhere in the world. But you just need to do it with sense, and you need to be very smart with the way you do it, really.
Thank you so much, sir.
Okay.
Okay, so Odun Osho Moses has a question. Can you unmute yourself? You have the floor now.
Yes, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for sharing your knowledge with us. And so, as regards to like you were mentioning something about payment, like technology, payment solution. So you said something about social. You said it is a social problem and not a technological problem. I actually want to get the difference between the two, if you don't mind, sir. Thank you.
Oh, okay, is that the question?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. A social
okay,
problem and a technological
Oh, okay.
problem.
So basically, I mean, what I was just trying to say is that payments today is an evolution of trust. So if you look at where it all started from trade by barter, where you have something that you think is worth enough to exchange for something else. You have yam, I have clothes, I give you my clothes, I take yam from you. And that was how it all started, right? Then eventually, some institution came together and said that, oh, okay, we are making the goldsmiths very rich, because what then happened was that people started, taking gold jewelries that they have, and then they were using it to, exchange for goods and services. And the goldsmiths were becoming very rich. So then it got to a point where they said, you know what? We're not even using gold anymore. We're not using silver anymore. What we are going to be doing is that we are going to be taking our gold to goldsmiths, get a rental receipt, and that receipt is what they are now using in exchange for goods and services. And that's like the evolution of payment. And somebody trusts that receipt to say, oh, if this person is unable to fulfill the contract, I can take this receipt to the goldsmith and get that worth of gold that is written on the receipt. And that's how then I can't remember the name of the guy, then came, meets the government and said, you know what, we need to be that goldsmith. We need to be the one collecting all the golds and then be issuing people this paper. And that's how currency started. So if you look at that first principle of payment, you will then begin to understand that it started from the need for exchange. And today it still happens today, where you can walk up to your friend and say, well, give me $100, and they're able to give you, or give me 1,000 naira or 20,000 naira. They're able to give you, believing that you can pay back without you giving them any form of collateral or anything. So in solving payment problem, you need to think back to that first principle and then solve the problem from that perspective if you want to provide any form of innovation in payments. So that was what I was trying to say.
Thank you very much, sir. So I have another question from Bello Tommy. I'm intrigued by your story, sir. While you were talking, you said something about building everything home-based. Does this include the electronic device, the NFCs?
Okay. So in the production of computers today, even though the design was made in the US, they still have to mass produce in China, really. And at the end of the day, they will still tell you that Apple is a US company, even though the hardware were built in China. So you have to think about it that same way. So the whole concept, the whole design of what we have today, we built it in Nigeria. And the value there is that if the government comes and say that, oh, we don't want this thing to work this way, we want it to work this other way, we are able to refine the design almost immediately and send it back to wherever we are mass producing our hardware, and then revamp that kind of thing. And then so basically that's what I was trying to say. So the concept itself, we don't have the capacity to run a factory in Nigeria, for example. We have to partner with a company in China to mass produce for us. But the initial concept and the basic design, we did that here. So that was what I was trying to explain. I don't know if that answers your question.
Thank you so much, sir. So Mr. Kilabi Akiwande, you have the floor now. You can ask a question.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Thank you for sharing your insightful experiences. My question is, how do you overcome the legal challenges? And how do you build your team? And also, how do you attract investors to finance your ideas? Thank you.
Okay. So the first one, how do you overcome the legal challenge?
How do you overcome the legal challenges? Yes.
Don't think about it at all. Even if you are breaking the law, don't think about it. I mean, as long as you are solving a problem, I mean, there's a green line there between breaking the law and, but what I mean is that you can really skate around it. So for example, when we launched our product, a lot of people told us that we are breaking the law. And the question, and what they said was that for you to issue a store value card in Nigeria, you need to be regulated by CBN or something and stuff like that. And I mean, we just kept doing what we're doing, right? But nobody came. CBN did not come knocking at our door, really. Of course, until you can do that, till you get to a point where you then need to, get regulated because you are big now. But we were still small. I mean, nobody's thinking about a small guy trying to solve a problem there and everything. So just keep doing what you're doing and then focus and put your heads down. Then in building a team, you really need to be very careful and also be picky with the kind of people that you work with, because building a company is like a marriage. You most likely will get stuck with whoever you have in your team for a long time. And the relationship matters a lot, because if people break out, so for example, you might have an intellectual property in your idea and you are working with the wrong guy from the beginning, and then they just went out and out of annoyance or out of that, and then you are in a mess. So two things can break a company. Wrong thing is one of the things to be really, really worried about at the beginning. I was part of a startup where we had a guy that was literally poisoning the mind of every member of the team when we were not around. And to the point that there was no trust. There was no trust. People were just, thinking differently about every good intentions that you have. So you need to deliberately select your team, people that you think that you believe in the same goal. You are going to the same place that you can work with. And I think that you can find them in the university. There's no aspiration. We're just willing to try out anything that works in the university. And then the last thing, funding. The easiest way to attract funding is to have traction. Traction is very important. Build something, test it out very fast. Don't just build it for the beauty of your computer or to show off to your friend. Get some actual users. Get the first actual user, get the second actual user. Refine it, get their feedback. And also be willing to have a very interesting story around your product. So people invest in people, they don't invest in an idea. Because you might have an idea today that I feel that, is good, but you might have a better idea tomorrow. So I would rather invest in you than invest in your idea. But I want to know that you are a quality guy. I want to see the way you are thinking about these things. So if your story is good, very interesting, very nice, and you sound very intelligent, the way you sell it, the way you approach the market, then you are the guy to invest in. And that's how all the investors in the world think. There's a company, I can't remember their name, they call it Magic something. They are an ER company, AR, augmented reality company. They raised billions of dollars and they didn't have a product, but their story is very compelling. So that's how to attract funding.
All right, thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir. I have a question here from Adewale Joshua. My question is, how did you bypass and overcome challenges while implementing and carrying out the great idea of yours, sir?
Okay, so if you get to a point when crisis will become a norm, where every day you deal with crisis. And when I say crisis, I mean different problems. It could be from a customer, one of your highest paying customer is pissed at something. It could be your team. It could be a family problem. It could be anything. So one of the perks of, or one of the qualities of being an entrepreneur is that you need to be able to manage crisis. You need to be relentlessly resourceful. You need to be calm in the face of adversity, and you need to have your head working all the time. So, I mean, they don't teach it anywhere. There's no school where they will teach you all these things. But because you have a mission that is in front of you, and that mission is burning so much in your heart, you cannot kill it for anything. You cannot sacrifice for anything. And that's why you even see some entrepreneurs, they will divorce their wife, they will do all crazy things to see that they are, they will like Mark Zuckerberg will even cheat his friend or something to see that they achieve their mission. So basically, my point is that once you believe so much in what you are doing, beyond money, beyond anything, you'll be able to face any battle along the line, and you'll be able to crush them because you believe in it. So startup to me is like having a child, either a son or a daughter. Even if you are pissed at your wife, or you are pissed at your baby mama, or your boyfriend, or whoever, because of that child, you are able to suck it up, fix the problem, and move forward. So it's the same thing with your idea. No matter what comes your way, because you believe strongly in that idea, you are able to surmount it and move forward. So that's the easy way we manage issues.
Thank you so much, sir. So another question here from Ibia Buchi. My question is, you spoke about giving solutions for cardiovascular health issues. Please clarify me on what you said. It's not clear.
Oh, okay. So basically, that was our Imagine Corp project. What we did was that we had a wristband that people can wear, people that have that are prone to having heart attack. So they wear the wristband, and then the system basically, measure their heartbeats in real time, and it syncs with their phone, their smartphone, and we are able to. We put an application on the phone that signals for arrhythmia. Arrhythmia is irregular heartbeat, so that's like symptoms before heart attack. Cardiovascular diseases are basically heart-related diseases. So our goal was for us to build a system that is going to, reduce the number of people that are dying of heart attack, and also help people that are living with stroke to get better. So basically, that was the idea then. But we just killed it because I don't think that we will find a way to make money, and we couldn't sustain it.
Thank you very much, sir. So I have another question from Tech Bro. So does our product have to go in line with theme of getting people gainfully employed? Because with that said, will be restrictive to building a system that might only work with the connected economy?
No, not really, right? And if you look at, so for example, I don't know, I think WhatsApp only had about 55 staffs, but is affecting billions of users today. And a lot of people are building their businesses on it today. So in terms of getting people gainfully employed, I don't know. I mean, you are not the government. It's the responsibility of the government. Your goal, I mean, your mission is to solve a problem and make money while doing it, really. And don't measure the importance of your idea because it's going to take job from people. No, because whatever is taking job from people is probably enriching other people as well. So don't even think, don't bother yourself about that. It doesn't have to get people employed in any way. But if it does, yeah, fine. It's a good plus.
Thank you so much, sir. So another question here from Read One. How easy is it to manage a startup when you are far away from home?
Well, it depends on the kind of idea. There are some ideas that, I mean, I'm going to be very honest here. I say that Nigeria is different from the rest of the world. And because good internet and electricity is still a luxury in Nigeria, I don't 100% support remote work in Nigeria. And the reason is because you will have a developer fix something small in the product and it will take them a week. And the reason they will give you is because they don't have electricity. They are struggling to get fuel, and all those things. And you see, in a country where remote work has thrived, this is not the case. I mean, electricity is a necessity. Internet is just as easy as paying bills. I mean, and you just get it, just the same way you pay for electricity and all that. But here, even if you pay for it, doesn't mean that you get it. And so that is why a lot of employers, struggle, even though diesel is 800 naira per liter, whatever it is, struggle to keep the office open. And the idea of the office is to provide an enabling environment for people to work and get all the things done. And for me, I think that we copy the Westerners so much that we don't consider the reality of our own country. And that's one of the things that we don't do. we are overly honest with ourselves and see, but if your condition, if your startup idea, if your product, if it makes it possible for people to work remotely and they will deliver, I mean, it's easy. You just need to set it up that way, where maybe people log in at a particular time, they're able to do all that. But for us, we encourage most of our staff. We have flexible working hours, but we encourage them to, come to the office and work so that they don't give excuses of not having resources to be able to deliver on their task.
Thank you very much, sir. Another question here from Reed. Sir, is it difficult for someone without a skill in tech to come up with a great startup idea?
Of course, yes. And I mean, I'm not so sure. Okay, I mean, I think Elon Musk was self-taught, but Elon Musk actually studied economics. He didn't study, I think maybe computer science eventually as master's degree, I don't know. And I don't remember Steve Jobs studying computer science as well. I think maybe calligraphy or something interesting. So, I mean, everything you need in this life is either on YouTube or on one website somewhere. And the worst thing is that they are free. The best thing in this world are free, and they're on the internet. So maybe it will cost you data, sure. But I mean, but the reality, I mean, you can teach yourself anything. And you can impact the world without actually having any skill in tech. A lot of CEOs that I know today, they have a CTO that have all the tech know-hows, but they don't know anything about technology. So, and they have the ideas, they have the entire model in their head, and then they just work with. They found someone that have the technical know-how. If your idea is tech related, and if it's not tech related, you can still make a huge impact in the world, and then you need to do it without anything tech.
Thank you very much, sir. So I have a question from Ilori Gabriel. What should you do if you think your idea isn't very unique?
Okay. If you think your idea is not unique, then find a unique way to present it. Simple. We have more than one e-commerce in Nigeria, and there's Koga, there's Jumia, and we have several others. We have GG, we have so many things. So all they did was that they found a unique selling point. We have Paystack, we have Flutterwave, we have so many. So your idea doesn't have to be unique, really, for you to win. All you need to do is to find a unique way to present it, a unique selling point for that idea. And that unique selling point is where you thrive, is why people choose you. before the competition. So, I mean, that's all you need to do.
Thank you very much, sir. Another question from Divine Favor. Please, do we need to develop prototypes for our ideas?
Usually, yes. Usually, you need to. You need to have, we call it minimum viable products in the entrepreneur's world. So a minimum viable product is something that you can show somebody very fast and say that, oh, or even have a customer to say, can you test this? Does it work? Does it answer this problem? I mean, answer this question. Does it solve this problem? How can I refine it? And you can't build everything, all the features you have immediately into your MVP. So you should have a prototype that you can show people that you can use to illustrate your idea.
Thank you very much. Another question here from Israel. I have an idea that has been done by at most 5 people in Nigeria. Can I still go on with it? It's actually discouraged. I'm actually discouraged.
Well, I don't know the details of the idea. So sometimes the exact same idea, but because it is cheaper, people will choose it. So I really don't know the detail of the idea. If it's something that you think is not worth it because the problem has been solved, I don't think you should be too emotionally attached to your idea. Be emotionally attached to the problem. If there is a better way of solving the problem, fine. If the problem has been solved, then go for another problem to solve. Simple. You don't have to, but I mean, you don't have to marry an idea. It's in your head, and we still have a lot of problems here. So you can easily, look for another problem to solve.
Thank you so much, sir, for these useful tips. I believe I've read all the questions here. So moving on to our agenda now, if you have your pitch, if you have your idea that you want to pitch, it's time to speak up. Let's hear it before another session of question and answer for you. If you are the team lead and you want to speak out, or if you have an idea, you can just speak out for 1 minute and next person speaks and we move on. The floor is open. You can just raise your hands and I'll unmute you and you talk about your idea. Let's hear it. I believe people have ideas here because I can see some people saying they have ideas. I'm discouraged. Can you speak up? Let's hear what the idea is. Okay, Odun Moses, you have the floor now.
Yeah, thank you so much. Okay, so that's my name, Odun Moses. So I'm the team lead for Investor Sage. That's the name of the platform that we are planning to build. It's a platform that will provide an investment opportunities for small and medium scale enterprises in Nigeria. So there are different forms of investment platforms, such as the big scale ones. I don't know, stocks, the sort of markets where you go there and you see big companies such as Facebook, Teslas, and the rest, and sort of companies like that. But for us now, we are planning to create a platform for small and medium scale enterprises, and we are currently done with the design phase, or almost done. So we have something that we can present for that. So yeah, so we'll be providing a kind of platform where people can actually go there. You are not forcing them to invest in anything in particular. They have choice. They see what they want to invest in. They see the financial analysis of the small scale enterprises. So they have choice, and they can invest in any of the platform and have a particular duration. They can even co-invest, they can join other investors. And I have one of my teammates on the call here, Daniel. So if you don't mind, if Daniel doesn't mind talking afterwards, so yeah, we have something like that. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Moses, and I like that idea too.
Yeah, thank you so much.
So do we have anyone that wants to talk about your idea, your innovation? Okay, someone is saying, Olamide, it is like Penny's talk. Do you want to share with us?
No, I'm only asking that, is it going to be like penny stock? Since it's like an investment in small and micro businesses. So I'm just curious.
Okay, that question is for Moses. Moses. Moses, are you still here? You are muted.
All right, thank you. Yeah, that's the problem. I've muted myself back. So yeah, it's not really more like any stock because it's going to provide like the investors an opportunity like to invest in, like in this case, if you want to use stock, that means we're talking about a kind of company that have gone, should I use the word IPO? And to Nigeria, I don't know if you like they have like they call it SMES in Nigeria. So we have like a small scale company. They just have maybe I think 10 to 0, 10 to 1 employees. So in that case, we can't really use the idea of stock. So I was talking to somebody that is from finance background. The person was talking to me about like how we can just come up like with like calculating the worth of the company, the SMEs. So I'm be able to determine like the amount that the investors get back on their investment, and they can co-invest too. More like 10 people investing in a particular thing, a particular amount to help the investors, because they must have a clear plan. The companies must have a clear plan of what they are using the money to do. So we are just like the intermediary providing the platform, tracking the investors and the MSMEs. So Nigeria call them MSMEs, yeah, MSMEs. So something like that. Okay, thank you. I don't know if you have any other question. Thank you.
Thank you, Moses. So Daniel, you have the floor now.
So I would like to add to what he said. So basically, it's like we're providing a broader market. So irrespective of how much you have, how much you are willing to invest, you can find something that suits your needs. And then we also structured and it's like to expand so that it's an ecosystem for not just investors, for entrepreneurs as well. You have a business, you probably need capital, or maybe you need money for a rebrand or an expansion. We check the viability of your business, we see, okay, then, we're looking at an ecosystem so everybody gains at the same time. Thank you.
Thank you, Daniel. So I assume you are part of Moses' team. Daniel, you are muted.
Yes, I am.
Yes, okay. Then you're going to assist him with this question. The same question is from Olamide. I think it makes sense, but you need to be able to give some info about the company so that people don't make away with the funds. I think it's a suggestion, not a question like that.
Yes, exactly. It has been placed in constitution. Everything will be available. The business information, the business plan. It's a strict, like all the information you basically need. We're trying to make everything as transparent as possible. So yes, all that information provided for each business you want to invest in.
I love your idea. It's very awesome. Okay, so moving on, do we have anyone that wants to talk about your idea? I know a lot of people fill that form, and I know most of you are here. So can you just share your idea? The essence of this is for us to know about your idea, and we can give you useful tips. No idea is silly, no idea is too small. Just share with us, and every idea is unique. So you have the floor now. You can ask the question in the chat box, or you can share your idea in the chat box, and let's just hear you. So I'm looking for some, okay. Kolawole, you have the floor. Kolawole, you have the floor, but you're mute.
Hello.
Yes, we can hear you.
Good afternoon, everyone. Hello.
Good afternoon, we can hear you.
My own idea is based on the agricultural industry. As we all know, food is an essential or something we must all have. So my idea is to build, how should I say it, an agricultural company that deals with productions of agricultural, how should I say, agricultural materials like both agriculture chemical materials like for killing weeds for farmers and also producing foods like whereby I can like that are used as materials both internationally and locally for productions of foods like when converted like materials that plants crops that can later be converted into final product. And my own aim is not just for the local part of, I'm not settling for the local part of it, something that I can do whereby I know that okay, companies high like big companies like abroad internationally and both in Nigeria can actually patronize. So that is one of my idea, though I still have a lot more to say about it, but just to be brief.
Thank you, Kolawole, and I think your idea is brilliant too. So do we have any question for Kolawole before we move on to Gus Todd? Do you have any question for him before we move on to Gus Todd? Okay, so moving on, Gus Todd, you have the floor now.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
Thank you very much. My own idea is about let me just say like Fiverr or Upwork setup, but it's for skilled and unskilled people. Should I say skilled and unskilled? So it's like a situation where you visit the website and you request maybe for someone to do a job for you. Let's just say, for example, this like Uber, but not only Uber, we can have like the laundries, plumbers, house cleaners, all these them small scale job, the skilled and unskilled one. So you can register as a worker and you can register as someone who wants to hire. So it's not something of skilled, like more skilled, just like the Fiverr and Upwork that you be collecting gigs. But this one is just for the small scale jobs. Let me just say any work. Let me just generalize it as any work. So you can go there to get people that will do your job. Then after the job is done, you rate them for other people to see how good they are and to be able to call them for work more. And you can also register as someone who wants to work. Then when you are being called, you do the job and then they will pay you. The website will want to pay you. So I think that one is yes, something like freelancing. Something like freelancing, just something like that.
Okay, so something like Uber for artisans. Gus Todd, you're muted.
Yes. Something
Okay.
like that.
Okay. Okay, thank you very much. And I think your idea is very brilliant too. So Susan, can you share your idea with us? You have the floor.
Good afternoon once again. So my idea is based on food, right? So just like we have local fries, like the normal akara, yam, potatoes that we buy by the roadside, and they use paper. So this is going to be like a fast food restaurant, but then it's going to be for fries alone, local fries, and that can be served as breakfast, with pap and the likes. Yes. So instead of having a fast food, it's going to be a fast fries restaurant that will use biodegradable um, packs, and also that will be good for the health instead of buying from the roadside that we use paper and all oily and soggy, and then the fries are not fried down, so there's like a little lounge where you can sit down and enjoy old school music while fries are being prepared for you. And you can stop, have breakfast of pap and maybe akara, and things like that. So that is the idea that I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Susan. I think your idea is also brilliant. Do we have questions for Susan before we move on? Questions for Susan? Okay, so we're going to take Adewale Joshua now. Adewale Joshua, you have the floor.
All right, good afternoon, everyone. All right, our idea is simply to connect young entrepreneurs, the skilled, the unskilled, and as well students to their field of interest, because actually we believe that we have so many young entrepreneurs out there that are skilled, they are skilled, like talking about the handworks, bag making, shoe making, photography, videography, and all. So our aim is to simply connect them to every other young entrepreneurs out there, where they can work together as a team, where they can also earn together as a team, and also upload their work. And this is where we're actually bringing in e-commerce. Our first aim is to actually is to connect young entrepreneurs, is to also connect the unskilled. That is, we are also equipping people that have interest in making shoes, in making bags, in doing photographies also, and so many skills out there. So we are also equipping them and also getting the skill, that is those that have the idea of these skills already. They come together, mix together with the young entrepreneurs, with the unskilled. They work together as a team, also form a mini company. That is, if you're in the sector of photography, you have a team. In the sector of videography, you have a team. Shoemaking, art and crafts, etc. like that. So you have a team, and we work as a team to produce also. And in the aspect of you producing, we create a site whereby we can upload your work. And in the aspect of you uploading your work, we also help you We also help you sell out your work, not only in Nigeria, across across other countries too. So our idea is basically to, is to connect, equip young entrepreneurs, bring in e-commerce, just like the Upwork and Fiverr, like that too. And through our site, young entrepreneurs can also learn more. They can gain more knowledge to the one they've acquired before, and also have the abilities to connect together, train themselves again, and also form a mini company that can also employ every other aspiring student out there that have interest in learning what they are also doing. So this is basically our idea, and we still have more innovations to it. Thank you very much.
Well done, Adewale, and I love your idea. It is very brilliant. Okay, so this suggestion or this comment is for Susan. So Susan, something like Starbucks for fries, Mr. Olamide is asking you. Susan, are you here? Okay, so Mr. Olamide is also asking Adewale you need to think about scaling in all your ideas. Scaling an idea is when a very minimal effort can attract lots of users. And revenues. Adewale, can you hear that? That's tip for you. Please, I need a response that you can hear that. Adewale. Adewale and Susan, I need a response from you that you can hear this suggestion from our star guests. Okay, yes. All right, then moving on to Obed. Obed, you have the floor. Okay, now, is Obed still there? Okay, now, okay, let me read this from Fadai Olakunle. Okay, his idea, the agriculture is generalized both. Okay, I think you wrote your idea initially. Do you mind speaking up? Fadai Olakunle, are you here? Olakunle, if you're here, can you share your idea? Okay, maybe you have a bad network. Let me read it out. Good afternoon. One of the ideas my group deliberated is on agriculture. This is actually a buttress to what Kolawole spoke on. Most importantly, parts in western part of my countries, we have abandoned forests that can be worked on. So as one of the basic assets in agriculture, land is available for farmers, non-educated farmers to work, and this will generate max employment for citizens, educated and non-educated. In fact, the agricultural activities also promote the development of the country. So, Father Iro Olakunle, if you want to still speak up, you have the floor. Our project is to exhume the death stigma on agriculture, which has heightened the starvation in the state. The economy solely rested on agriculture. I love the idea, it's very brilliant too. Okay, so Adewale Joshua said, I have a teammate here also who can also add to what you have. Okay, Timothy, you have the floor. You can share your idea too. Timothy. We're waiting for you, Timothy. Please unmute yourself, Timothy. You have the floor. Let me unmute you.
Okay, thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. So my teammates, Joshua Adewale has basically said what we are planning on building. So it's basically a platform for young entrepreneurs within a certain age range and within a particular growth in their business. So it's basically to connect them together and see ways in which they can advance forward in their respective business and see how they can generate more profits. So under the idea of creating employment for unemployed youth in Nigeria is more like a platform also to generate employment for unskilled workers. So there will also be a segment whereby the unskilled workers can engage in works or in jobs that doesn't require a particular skill set. So we are still developing on that also. And during this same platform, they can also find a way to like learn a particular skill that they may be interested in. So it's all moving towards the global scope that they can learn a particular skill while still performing some minor jobs, so as to reduce the unemployment rate in Nigeria. So that's what it's all about.
Hold on, Timothy. Okay, so I have an idea here from Ibeabuchi. empowerment by combining the skilled and unskilled and making it serve internationally. Ibia Buchi, do you want to elaborate on this idea so we can ask questions? Do you want to share more? Ibia Buchi, do you want to share more with us? Okay. Ilori Gabriel, do you want to share your idea too with us? Please, you have the floor if you want to. Just raise your hands up and I'm going to unmute
Obed
you.
is ready now, me.
Obed, you're on mute now.
Okay, thank you very much. Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can.
Okay, good afternoon. My name is Shemi Obed. My idea is almost piqued in the interest of Kolawole and the likes on the agricultural sector. But as a sociologist, I'm not a science guy or a tech guy really, but I like stuffs like that. And I like security. So I came up with an idea with my friend who is a botanist in school. Okay,
Obed, we can't really hear you.
you can't?
Yes, we can't hear you.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, I meant
it's actually breaking. Yeah, off and on.
Why? The crop my.
Your network is on and off. We can't really hear you speak at once. It's breaking.
I have to write it then. I'll write it down then. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, do we have anyone that wants to share? Okay. Laurie, Gabriel, let me unmute you. Gabriel, you're muted now.
Everyone can. All right, so I actually don't have an idea to share. I'm in a team already. All right, so I'm in Joshua's team, Adewale. I'm in his team. So I just want to share a few things with people who are still brainstorming on ideas that they want to come up with. So actually, I believe that every solution is the beginning of another problem. So we can actually look at innovations that is around us, and from there we can come up with an idea from recent innovations, and we can ask people that what do we think they wish they have that could make life easier. Everybody wants to be open-minded and pour out their heart, and from there we could come up with ideas that can actually make a change. So that's what I actually want to add. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Okay, now, so we'll wrap up this session in say 10 minutes. So if you have your ideas So our star guest can give you some tips before it goes. The floor is open now. So let's share our ideas so we get advice and tips from our experts. And if we also have contributions for leaders here that have shared their ideas or suggestions, you can also share with them. I can't talk here. Should I type it? Yes, Dara Simi, you can type. So I'm going to read it out. Okay, so Dara Simi, good day everyone. I'm Dara, a 400 level student of biomedical engineering, team lead for Talent Tech. We seek to solve the underlying problem of, providing quality tech services and probably managing the employment of tech individuals by creating a hub that would serve as an intermediary between prospective clients and tech individuals. We decided to solve this problem because we noticed that the tech space is growing every day, thanks to firms like HULT School, but tech bros still find it hard to land a job, either contract-based or long-term. Darcy, your idea is brilliant. So if we have suggestions or tips or questions for Darcy, okay, you have a question. Akinlabi Akinwande, let me unmute you. Akinlabi, do you want to ask a question in the chat box or you want to speak up? You're muted now.
Okay. Sorry. I have a question for Olamide. The question is for Olamide, please.
Oh.
Should I go ahead? I have a question for Olamide.
Please. Yes, please. Yes, please.
Okay. So my question is, what does it take? What does it take? What does it entail to build a successful business? A successful startup business, yes. Did you get the question?
Yes, Mr. Lamide is here. Mr. Lamide, the question is for you, sir.
Did you get the question?
Yes, I got it, but the question, Mr. Lamide is still here.
Okay.
Mr. Lamide, you're on mute. Mr. Lamide, you're on mute. Okay, so I guess it's going to get back to you. We're going to wrap up this session now. So we'll move to the next agenda. Okay, so I'm going to read your questions out. So when Mr. Olamide joins, he's going to answer your questions. I'd like to ask Mr. Olamide's contribution towards our idea to building a platform to connect young entrepreneurs and create a learning platform and jobs for unskilled youth. So I'm going to pass your questions to him too. He's going to answer your questions. So moving on, I'm going to introduce, the floor is going to be open to our second star guest, Mr. Elder David, to share some tips with you. Elder, you have the floor.
Okay. So good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, everyone. Yeah. Okay. So thank you very much, Olamide, for of course the enlightening session, and of course for everyone that has shared his or her ideas in today's events that are taking place. Okay, sorry, I'm trying to see what is happening here. Okay, so for today we are meant to be learning about, how we can actually pitch our ideas. And I think the major reason we've all gathered here is to enable us learn about how we can actually pitch our ideas, for the all press competition that will be taking place in about 2 weeks. And we all know that, it's not just enough for us to have a good idea, but how we're able to present that idea also matters, particularly when you're not just competing against your fellow students in UNILAG, but you'll be competing against people, across Nigeria, across Africa. And of course, if you're able to scale across Africa, you would also be competing with people across the world for the star prize of $1 million. Now, when you're competing for $1 million, I can assure you that you wouldn't be competing anymore at the level of, oh, let me just come up with any idea that looks interesting. You will need to come up with an idea that can compete globally. And I think that's the first mindset that every one of us, we need to have. There's a big difference. I think Olamide already said it earlier when he said something about the fact that you don't want to hold onto your idea that, oh, if it's not like this, I will not do it. Rather, hold on to the solution you are building, because the truth is that as you get more exposed, as you get more information, as you get to research, your solution can be rejigged, can be reworked. Your idea can be rejigged, can be reworked to suit the reality of what you are trying to do. So it's very, very important that for every one of us, if we're just thinking of an idea we're going to work on for the HULT prize, we shouldn't just think of Nigeria in the context of Nigeria. We should just think of the context of Africa. Let's think of the context of the world. And if this is a general program where we teach you about tech solutions, tech ideas, we can say that, okay, that yes, your idea should focus on Nigeria. But because this is a global competition, so we're going to be realistic in telling you that whatever idea you're thinking of, let it be an idea that if it were taken from Nigeria and implemented in South Africa, it can work. If you're taking from South Africa and taking to China or the US or Canada or Switzerland or the UK, it can actually work. So whatever idea or solution you intend to bring forth, you need to ensure that your idea is one that is truly unique and of course aligns with the theme, the thematic area of this competition, which is about bringing people back to work. And of course, getting people gainfully employed, getting people meaningfully engaged. So whatever ideas or solutions across any sector, whether it's in healthcare, whether it's in financial services, whether it's in transport, whether it's in mobility, whether it's in property tech, whether it's in education tech, whether it's in anything you want to do, you need to ensure that whatever idea or solution you are bringing is one that can compete globally, is one that can stand and truly stand, of course, the test, that test of universal appeal, which means that if it's taken from Nigeria to any other place in the world, this idea would be able to compete favorably in this instance. But now, beyond, of course, we telling you to think of an idea that is globally appealing, I would also want to say this as an extension. Don't just think of HULT competition as, okay, once we're done with this competition, we'll just close it there and of course we'll move on with our individual lives. If you listen to Olamide share his story, you heard Olamide saying that they started the solution whilst they were still in school. They started out, they piloted with something. So OAU or LAUTECH, of course, might look like a small community, but the truth is that there are tens of thousands of people that pass through a university environment every day. So it tells you that whatever idea solution we're developing, you can actually develop those ideas solutions and of course begin to focus on the environment itself that you are thinking about. So the point I'm trying to make now is that even if you think that, oh, this idea of mine can actually suit the Lagos market, can actually suit the Nigerian market, might just suit the African market, continue to work on that idea, post HULT prize. So whether you're the winning team, whether you're the team that emerged or not, it does not matter. Whatever synergy you're going to build with members of your team as a team lead, I can tell you for free that technology today is still in its infancy. And just like Olamide said before, that in Nigeria and across Africa, we have so many problems, so many anomalies, so many shortcomings. But the question is, how can technology help in solving any and every of those problems and shortcomings? And that's actually what makes Nigeria quite exciting, because just like many years ago, in the 60s, 70s, when Nigeria discovered oil and everybody were delving into oil, then in another era, banking became the big thing. Everybody was creating banks, setting up banks. Then in another era, telecommunication was the in thing. Everybody started setting up telecommunication company. And today, technology is the in thing. And the best part is that technology will continue to be the in thing even in 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years. Because whenever technology makes our lives easy, it means that there's a company that is making money and, of course, generating value by employing people. And when, of course, people are employed, that company is paying taxes. It also helps an economy to grow. So I want to encourage every one of us not to take oil price as just the end base or the beginning of the end of whatever ideas or solution you're working on. If you think that this solution you're working on actually has the potential to scale, has the potential to grow, look for the best way possible to commence that solution in the smallest way, in the most minute way. It could be within the University of Lagos, it could be within Yaba as an environment, it could be within Yaba Tech, it could be within a very tiny demography in a local government or a particular FCDA. But the main idea is to ensure that we're able to move your solution from, of course, the idea to the pilot phase. Now, the quick questions we'll ask ourselves is this. On the day you'll be pitching your ideas, there's a format we would love for everybody to follow. Now, when it comes to pitching your ideas, when it comes to idea presentation, there's something that everybody always agrees to. You want to ensure that your idea is concise and short. It means that if they say, what is your idea about? In 1 or 2 or 3 sentences, you should be able to clearly articulate what your idea is about. So you want to ensure that whatever ideas yourself and your team will be working on, you want to make sure that your ideas are short and concise, straight to the point. Now, one of the major things you also want to know when, of course, it comes to describing your idea and ensuring that your idea is straight to the point is also utilizing the power of storytelling. I believe that many of us have heard the word called storytelling. You know, storytelling in selling your brand, storytelling in packaging yourself personally, storytelling in doing this, storytelling in driving impact, storytelling in just doing anything and everything. If your idea has a unique solution it offers, why not use an example? Why not use an instance? Why not use a testimony? Why not use a scenario? Why not use something that is aspirational to describe your idea, to describe your solution? It becomes very easy because whenever you're describing your story with a story, you can relate to your story seamlessly. So if you're pitching your solution on the day of the context, you start, of course, my name is this, my name is that, and the team lead for so and so. Once you've done that, we are here to present our idea called this solution is a payment as a service, is a fintech as a service, is a this as a that solution that aims to do this. Let me share an instance of the impact this solution or the impact this idea has. So in 3 different sentences, you've introduced yourself and your team members, you've introduced your company and the core description of your company's products. Then in the 3rd instance, you now give a story to buttress, of course, this description you've given about your product or your service. Now, once you do that, you also want to tell us about the market potential of your solution. Does your solution target pregnant women? Does it target stay-at-home mothers? Does it target young men? Does it target working professionals? Does it target conductors? Does it target drivers? Whatever solution it is that you have, so long as that solution helps people go to work, so long as that solution helps people remain employed, so long as people get employed, it can be in any sector and every sector. But one of the major things you want to do when you're not talking about your markets is to see if there's a competitor. However, let me just say something at the beginning about the fact that whenever they were coming to Lagos, they noticed that in buses, there was always this challenge with people collecting change. Now, beyond even the change, I can imagine how BRT was years ago when people were paying cash and you have to line up that long queue for somebody to be collecting cash. Now, you can imagine if there's no change. You have to probably write on the paper or tell you to wait. But with today, with that particular card, There's no instance of issue around change. Then number two, they've also helped the company to block leakages. And just like he said, they had done their due diligence to be sure that nobody was offering that particular service or solution. Then, just like he also described, in describing your market, you want to know who are your exact demography, who are the users of your products. So it's not enough for us to tell us that, oh, we're targeting the whole of men in Nigeria. There are different categories of men in Nigeria. You have the educated ones, you have the semi-educated ones, and you have the illiterate ones. So who exactly are you targeting? Who are your demography? Is there an age to your demography? Is there a region to your demography? And is there a gender or an educational level to your demography? So in defining your markets, you must clearly state this in your pitch and in your presentation. You don't need to have the exact figures. You can give an estimate that our total addressable markets for this solution is 10,000 people, 20,000 persons, 100,000 persons. So once you describe your markets in the fourth instance, the next thing you want to tell us is, how does your solution make money? How will you make money from your solution? It's key, it's important. It's not enough to have a brilliant idea. It's not enough for you to say that there are 10,000 persons that patronize me. How will you make money from them? And how are you sure that those guys will be willing to pay for your service? So you must state it in your slide. And you can make money from various ways. You can make money from subscription. You can make money from percentage charges. You can make money from interest. You can make money from one-off payments. You can make money from buy now, pay later. There are various ways you can describe the way your solution or product can generate revenue. But the main thing is, how can it generate revenue? And just to backtrack a little, when you're talking about your market potential, your total addressable market, which is AKA TAM, you also want to identify who are your competitors in the market. So never say there's not, I don't have a competitor. It is not possible. There's always a competitor out there. They might not be doing exactly what you do, but they do something similar to what you do. When Olamide was speaking, he said that they went for a pitch, and in that pitch, OPE competed against them. InterSwitch competed against them. On a good day, as a startup with a unique idea, you might be wondering, oh, OPE, they're too big, they might not come here. InterSwitch, they're too big, they might not come here. But who said so? Everybody is always looking for a way to make more money. So if somebody has a solution that is similar to yours, even if it's not the same, you have to identify them as your potential competitor. So for the folks that spoke about building a platform that allows artisans, I can already count about 5 competitors you have in Lagos alone. So it is key that whatever solution you have, as you state your total addressable market, you also want to state the state of your competitors. Who are your competitors? What makes you different from your competitors? Then, of course, how do you now make money? Because your competitors already have the market share. So what market share do you hope to get? And how do you make money from that particular market share you hope to adapt? First part, introduction. Introducing yourself and members of your team. Second part, introduce your company and the core product your company is producing. Third part, share a story. Give a testimony. Give an instance. It could even be a personal story that motivated you to starting that solution. Just like Olamide said, he's coming to Lagos, boarding public transport, made them realize a solution that can be created for the transport ecosystem. Now, I know for a fact that because this is a competition and the time is short, many of you might not have an opportunity to have tested your ideas, even in the smallest of ways. But it doesn't matter. You can use the storytelling to at least reinforce the value proposition you're trying to sell. Once you've done that, the next part is your total addressable markets. In stating your total addressable market, you want to give us specific numbers around the potential customers you have. Who are the demographic you are serving specifically? Who are your competitors in that particular market? And what makes you different from your competitor? What is that unique thing about your solution that is different from what your competitor currently are doing? You want to talk about that under your marketing. Then the next part is, how do you make money? How do you make money? I've given you different models of how revenue can be generated. So once, of course, you've closed down how you think you can make money, you cannot give us your next step. Okay, so our next step now is we're trying to launch this out, we're trying to do this, we're trying to do that. But like I said before, don't think of alt price as just a competition. It is not just a competition. Think of it as this might be the pilot for an idea we can push even beyond alt price. So whatever ideas you have, based on the little lesson you've gotten now, go and ask yourself, is my idea good enough to service the market out there? Olamide started this when they were in school. And he said that despite the opportunities he had, because they believe so much in their idea, they decided to focus fully on it. And today is the better for it. And you can imagine, they've expanded to other states. Now imagine scaling this to other countries. Imagine being able to capture the entire transport ecosystem in this country. Because like I said, in every place where there's a problem, there's always a solution. Yes, you might probably get people that will fight against it, that might probably tell you that you're small, that you're this or you're that, or they might not believe in the idea. But if you keep at it and continue to show up, they will eventually believe themselves. So you wrap up with telling us how you intend to pilot your solution. We've identified these social markets, and we intend to pilot our solution in that particular place. So you can pilot here and prove the model. Then we believe that if we get that $1 million, we'll even do extremely better. And you wrap up, of course, at that point. So once you wrap up, you thank, of course, your panel of judges for listening to you. You then allow them to throw questions in. Thank you very much. So if you have questions, probably if you have questions, you can throw those questions. So just before, of course, we begin to throw our questions out, I want to say this. So on Tuesday next week, on Thursday next week, then on upper Tuesday and on Wednesday of the upper week, we're going to be meeting physically on campus. Now, the location for that meeting will be in FSS, somewhere in front of Faculty of Arts, or sorry, Department of Arts, inside FSS compound. So we're going to be meeting, is what we had the first meeting. Okay, not some of you were not there. Is what we had, so but it's in FSS in front of Department of Creative Arts. So we're going to be having a physical meeting with all the teams on campus. So all of these things we've said now, we're going to ensure that we're able to reinforce it next week. As everybody begins to know who members of their teams are, who is not a member of their team, and of course, we begin to work concretely on our ideas and our solution. Like I said before, and I'll say it again, don't just think of this as alt price competition. Think of this as what can I do even beyond alt price. Olamide said that they started out this idea with a unique name whilst they were in school, because they came for a competition in UNILAG. And from there, they've been able to evolve the solution. So no matter the outcome from alt price, know that it's just a lesson for you on what you can do better with the ideal solution you're developing, and of course that you intend to take to the markets. The tech ecosystem is booming and it's at its infancy. So it means that there will continue to be mad opportunities, sizzling opportunities for whoever is interested, of course, in tapping into those opportunities. And yes, shouldn't we have a lot of tech founders coming from UNILAG when we're very close to the Yabacom of Nigeria or Africa for that matter? So at this point, let me open up the floor. If you have questions, please, you can throw your questions at us. Thank you very much. Hand over to you.
Thank you very much, Elder. So I have a question here. Someone asked initially, I want to read it out. Okay, it's from Synergy. My question is about alt competition itself. What is required of the competition? Do we only need an idea or proof of concept or a working mini prototype, or we need to have fully established the business?
No, you can come with just your idea. You don't need to have anything. You are still an undergraduate, so we don't expect that you should have everything in place. So even if what you have is just a raw idea, you've not done anything yet, can come in with a particular idea. So, and of course, you wouldn't work alone. You're going to work with about 3 or 4 other members in a team. So every one of you will be coached through the process of developing your ideas. That's why we're going to be having physical meetings on campus from Tuesday, Thursday, and upper Tuesday and Wednesday to enable us, of course, fine-tune those ideas that we all have. We're going to be meeting at the teams that we all belong to.
Thank you. I have another question here. Hold on. Okay, the floor is open now. I'm still looking for the question, but the floor is open for anyone to ask questions about your.
Okay, Akinlabi, I see you say you have a question. Sorry, yeah. So Akinlabi, if you want to ask a question, you can raise up your hand. Now, someone is saying, do we have a slide for this lecture? There is no slide, but this video is being recorded on YouTube. So after the session, we're going to share the link on WhatsApp. I'm also going to share the link on their email to everybody. Akinlabi, you have the floor.
Yes, so my question is, how do you build, how do you build a successful business? What does a successful business require? What are the things you require to build a successful business?
Okay, so I think being that Olamide is the entrepreneur amongst us that at least has currently built a successful business. So Olamide, I want to see the floor to you. You obviously have practical examples of course, how you've been able to build a successful business. So Olamide, please have the floor. Okay, so it looks like Olamide might probably not be where his phone is at the moment. But I think just to answer that basic question, I think first things first to building a successful business, whether it's a for-profit business or an NGO or even an organization generally, is having, I think, the right kind of team. You cannot do anything alone. You need people to work with you. You need people that believe, of course, in you to join your team. Now, these guys might be volunteers. They might probably be interns. They could also be people that act as co-founders with you. But I think the first things first to building a successful business, boils down to collaborating with an individual or collaborating with a group of individuals. And I think in the tech ecosystem, collaboration is the most important oil you need to build anything successfully. Because when it gets hard, that member of your team that you have would obviously be there to back you up, to encourage you. So I think first things first is, if you want to build a successful business within the Nigerian landscape or African landscape or the global landscape, you need a team, a dedicated team, a talented team. Now, in terms of experience, they might not be so experienced, but once they are passionate, once they're tenacious, and of course they are committed to the vision and the business, it's very certain that business will obviously grow. Now, number two, I think keeping an open mind to is very critical when it comes to also building a successful business. The truth is that from the very first idea you have, when you start pursuing your idea, down to the eventual products that will go out there, down to, of course, piloting the solution, getting feedback from the market, and you continue to iterate you continue to edit, adjust, readjust, iterate the solution. You will see that the eventual product you get might be different from what you had in terms of your thoughts and ideas originally. So being able to build a successful business venture in today's world, you need to keep an open mind. You need to be flexible. You don't need to hold on to the idea that this is the way I said it and it must be like that. I remember talking to somebody last year and they were like, this is the idea that God gave to me. God gave me this vision this way. And I was like, man, you're so ignorant, man. That even God that gave you an idea knows that an idea can always be updated, knows that an idea can always be adjusted. That's why God gave us free will to do as we please. So even if He has given you an idea or you think you've got that agreement to build a particular solution, the truth is your reality, based on what the market wants, based on, of course, what the value you are giving, will determine the direction of your product. So you must always keep an open mind. You must always keep an open mind. Now, the third advice I would also give when it comes to building a successful business is know how. Now, you might not know how to do this directly on your own, but you need to be the one that can help you teach, that can help you, that can teach you all of those things. You must build a structure around your business. you must build a structure around your business. Let everybody's role and responsibility be clearly defined. So if you are bringing in a team of individuals, employ them, engage them, have a contract or an MOU, and let everybody's role be clearly defined. Don't just bring your family members, your friends. Oh, because this is my friend, let me bring her in. Oh, this is my church member, let me bring them in. Ah, this one is my street. Just me before you give me 10, let me bring him in. No, you must bring people that have value they can bring to your team. So that's why you must have a clearly defined structure. And whatever ideas or solution you have, I always advise people, go for the first basics. What is the first basics? Register your business with the CAC. Register that business with the CAC. Once you register that business with the CAC, it's the first legal hurdle you've crossed. Because even if you're going to get serious people to partner with you or to collaborate with you or to even invest in you, they will not invest in you as an individual. They will only invest in a legal entity that can be held accountable. So you want to ensure that you build a structure around your business. Let everybody's role, responsibilities be clearly defined. Let them be clear-cut KPIs, clear-cut job description, but more importantly, ensure that the first basic responsibility of registering your business, you do that. Now, any other thing in terms of, oh, do I get what they call it? Do I get like a license to operate here or a non-license to operate there? All of those things are not important at the beginning. Just like Olamide said, it might be illegal because, of course, you probably need a license to offer a certain kind of service. But the truth is that in your initial pilot, you don't have to spend too much money doing all of those licenses. Then at the end of the day, you now notice that, oh, this and this is actually wrong. I want to build up my business entirely. So learn how to build a structure around your business, ensure you have the right team, and more importantly, keep an open and flexible mind. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
So the floor is still open for questions. We'll soon wrap this session up, 5-10 minutes. So if you have any questions, you can ask. And I've also shared the WhatsApp link on the chat box. So please, if you've not joined the WhatsApp group, please kindly do so. We are going to be sending out information about the competition on the group, so to keep everybody posted. So we have 5 more minutes. If you want to share, if you want to ask questions, you have the floor. You can also type in the chat box before we call it a day. Okay, so in the absence of none, I believe we've all gained a lot from this session. Thank you so much, Mr. Olamide. Thank you so much, Elder David, for sharing your wealth of knowledge and experience with us. We do not take your time for granted.